Anthony, looking back at your career, I've seen you make some certain changes, and I'm kind of wondering about those changes because you're a singer, and right now you're a baritone, correct?
Yeah.
But you weren't always a baritone.
Right.
You were a tenor.
Yeah.
So you were trained as a tenor singer at a conservatory, and then, from what I see on paper, you were quite successful with the Dutch opera and freelance singing and everything like that as a tenor singer, right?
Yes.
So why the change?
I think when I was singing in this high voice, I think everything in my life was too high. I think I forced everything. I wanted everything was like this, and I think 50 years old now, things changed in everything, and voice is the mirror of your soul. So the voice changed. In those years it went down and I went with it. I didn't keep it high and everything. I followed the voice which I have inside. And everything changed. Everything. Also my thoughts about life, about everything. So...
All from changing your voice.
Sorry?
All from changing your voice type.
Yes, everything changed. Everything changed. Really. I felt much more the earth. Everything changed. The breath and the way I was eating, everything. I think the voice, the color of the voice, how it sounds, is the mirror of your soul.
And this isn't very typical, is it? Is it for a singer to be trained this way, perform this way as a tenor, and then just change to baritone? Is this?
You know, it's a typical Western thing to say you are that voice, you are high, I don't know what. I think first of all you are Anthony Heidweiller and you have a voice. And there is a certain opera style roles which ask from you that you have that and that voice. So people are at the first day at the conservatory thinking, who are you? Not who are you as a person, but your voice. How can it suit within the opera world? Right. I think I always had this voice, but it was not, they weren't looking at me, what is the voice, but how does he fit in the world?
And before this change, were you struggling with thoughts of, well, I'm not sure if I really want to do music anymore, this isn't working out, I don't feel, myself, I don't feel like Anthony?
Yeah, I think it was in 1997 when I was, things weren't working out. I was again singing I had a great work within the opera, the Dutch opera, in the opera choir. It was really great. And I met this guy, Peter Sellers, the director, and he changed something in me. Actually, after talking with him, I stopped in the opera choir and I started my own foundation. I wanted to do something for myself. I wanted to feel something. I wanted to do something which was really me. And that was also the day my voice started to change and everything. So, and I was really thinking, no more singing now. I want to do something in the society. So to feel again, why am I singing? What is my necessity to go on the stage? And for me it helped to start Yo Opera, a festival in which I invited a lot of companies and opera singers to make operas for young people. And making opera and singing for a young audience is the most beautiful thing to do. It invites you to give answers on the question why. Because young people always ask, why? Why are you singing? Why are you an opera singer? Why? And if you say, are you asking me why? And you get this thing, you are lost. So you have to give an answer. And by giving the answers, I had to think about myself. By thinking about myself, my voice changed.
Okay. So yes, you are the founder of Yo Opera.
Yes.
And you are the artistic director still.
Yes.
And this started in what year?
2001.
And every 2 years there's a large festival. And I'm wondering, the whole thing about having the youth involved in this is that you're able to answer that question, why. So it wasn't about there's a lack of opera in young children's lives or young people's lives. It's the fact of you can be more authentic and more honest with them. Because I'm trying to figure out, Yo Opera, why is it about youth specifically?
Because I am the founder. That's why it's about youth. Because I love to look with the eyes of young people, to talk with the tongue of young people, to listen with the ears of young people. I love this way because it's so open. It's also a way of not thinking about the consequences of what I'm doing. When I go on stage, when in early years I went on the stage, I always thought, can I compare with the CDs the audience has got at home? So I completely lost the context. Why am I doing it? And by working with young people, going into a school class, standing before 25 young kids who think you are an artist, and when you are really an artist, you wouldn't come here. You would be standing on stage. So I had to explain to them, why am I coming here and why do I want you to sing? Why am I inviting you to sing with me? And it asks a lot of honestness. Really open your heart for them. So they invited me to be honest, which I lost during my work at the choir of the Dutch Opera in that period. I couldn't find it anymore. So I can invite and I can say to every musician, work with young people. It's the best audience there is.
So this has been going on now for more than 10 years. What is the reaction of these kids, and has it changed in the last 10 years? You know, what have you seen any kind of cultural change or kind of growth between the people that you knew 10 years ago, maybe that you were singing to in these schools?
I don't know that, to be very honest. But what I know, I had some great experiences with young people, working with them, writing operas with them, singing with them, etc., etc. At that special moment, it was great. And I believe, I felt with them, yeah, I will never forget this. So what they do with it, I don't know. Maybe some of them went on singing or playing an instrument, but that's not my main issue. My main issue is that they feel what the importance of art is. Within our projects, in 2004, in 2005, 2001, and 2010, they had the experience by working with professional singers also, or professional singing their text. And that experience gave them the picture and the feeling that art is the most important thing in life.
That is a large focus of this.
Sorry?
That is a large focus of Yo Opera. Art is the most important thing, and a lot of people consider our opera to be, one of the greatest art forms. And that's, there's visuals, there's singing, there's instrumentalists, and everything like that.
But I think there are also other things very important. But art is also beautiful cooking. Art is also that you are very in your communication to people. You can be very creative. That's also art. To be a very friendly person is also art. And I think opera, for me, opera's now it is this big thing. But let's go to the source of the opera. Then we talk about singing. And opera means operazione, work, just work. And work is the work between two people, between you and me. We are looking to each other. It's art, this. We create something.
I see you really like to get down into specific details, kind of getting down to the core. What is this, or why, or how does this work? And I look at a lot of some of the projects you've done with very short operas, very mini operas. I watched a video on Yo Opera of, I guess it was an apartment building, and the door opens and these two young people come out and do an opera that's maybe 30 seconds long, or maybe it's 2 minutes long.
1 minute.
Or 1 minute. So, do you think that that's becoming more of, in this day and age, people say we're getting more shorter attention spans, but I also think about it as, well, no, we just want to get more to the content, more down to what is, the reason why we're doing something. And do you think that's kind of an influence on these 1 minute operas or these 7-minute operas?
It's not going about this 1 minute opera, it's going about the contact I have with the artist. And this 1 minute opera is part of a huge festival project in which you can see 30 1-minute operas. But you have to walk also. So it's an opera of 2 hours actually.
Right.
So it's not short. I really ask from the audience to go to a department building somewhere in a district, in a city. So you have to travel. It's not saying we're going to the opera house, we know where it is, we can have our coffee, and we have the opera, we go home. No, this is really a travel. I ask a lot of people to go to this department building and to get an adventure, because they don't know how it works. So I think it asks much more time from them than a normal opera.
I mean, to me, that sounds much more fantastic, much more. I would myself would rather go and experience something like this. These 1 minute operas, all one right after another, connected to each other in a different kind of space. It's a completely different experience. So the Opera Festival happens again this year, correct? Now, is there any kind of focus, or is it what's planned?
This will be the last festival.
The last.
Last festival. I'm going to stop.
Why?
Premier. I'm going to stop. After 10 years I want to do something else. Within this work also. But I need, once again, I've got an organization now. Everything is moving. We are doing very well. And I feel I need 2 years to re-event myself. To re-event what I'm doing. I need 2 years to ask myself new questions, to go on stage again, to sing, and to start a new organization. This work asks that you have that you reflect in a very open way what have I done. And I felt that I'm going to repeat myself a little bit the last years. So it needs a new start. And I need a new adventure in this. But I'll go on with this work.
Yo Opera will continue, or the foundation will stop?
Yeah,
it stops.
I started it, so I stop it. And I start a new foundation. I don't know where, but I'm going to start a new foundation. But I need that after 10 years. My life is now 50 years old. From my birth until my 10th was a period. From my 10th until my 20th was a period. 2030 was a period. 30-40 was a period. 40 I started with Yo Opera, it's a period. And now I'm starting something new, 50-60. I think it's 15 minutes.
You have 20 more seconds. You have 20 seconds. Tell me, so you're very excited you seem very excited about the future and taking these 2 years, reinventing yourself and just jumping out with something new. Good.
Absolutely.
Great.
Life is great.
Looking forward to it.
It's an art. It's my own opera.